So I am 32 years old today and I'm in the best shape of my life. I lie because it's Wednesday, my birthday is on Saturday. Whatever, I'm 32 this week. What kind of loser is going to film a YouTube video on their birthday? Probably me, actually. I'll probably film another one and put it out Sunday. But yeah, I'm 32 and I wanted to share with you here, and I appreciate like best shape of my life, that's kind of a subjective thing. But I feel, and I've felt myself saying that a few times lately, but it's because I feel like I'm getting better. And I really do feel this is the peak now. And I don't know if there's going to be another peak, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And just this cliche of it, it's all downhill from here. Certainly not physically. Certainly not physically. We don't get the time back. I'm not an idiot, I know that. But certainly physically, I don't feel like it's all downhill from here. I'm sure at some point that is going to change. It's going to be much harder. Recovery time's going to go down. And the hair will start falling out, etc., etc. But so far, so good. I think we're riding the wave still quite nicely here. And yeah, I just wanted this video to be about what's worked for me. And actually, I was thinking about this because I don't want to do a yappy yap yap video. So probably 2 minutes in already, so that's probably already ruined that idea. But you know, I wanted to make this concise. I was thinking about like, what is the summary? And I think, as I knew I was going to make this video, and what I want to talk to you about today is what I've given up. It's what I haven't done through my 20s, actually, when everyone else was. The amount of parties that I didn't go to, and eventually I wasn't invited to because I just wasn't that guy in the end. You know. The amount of times I've been to a nightclub in the last 5 years, 0. I'm making sure that's true as I say it. In 5 years, I'm pretty sure that's true. It's probably longer. It's probably 7 years, 0. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. People don't believe me when I say that. So, yeah. And anything upwards from cigarettes in terms of hard drugs. What's a soft drug? I guess coffee. That might be one bad habit we can look at. I like a Coke Zero every now and again, which I'm transparent about. I like my almond croissants every now and again, as I'm also transparent about. But no cigarettes, no partying. The amount I do drink alcohol, I can't say I'm teetotal, but the amount of times I drink alcohol in 1 year. Like I've talked about this idea of it's probably about once a month. That's how it averages. I've said that before on this channel. And that probably is, that is probably generally how it tracks. That is correct. I don't think that's a false statement that I've made in the past, but like truthfully, it comes in phases. I'm trying to think the last time I had alcohol now. Probably baptism, probably my best friend's son's baptism a month ago. Yes, so once a month, tracks, doesn't it? But I will go 3-4 months at a time. Probably did that a few times last year without a single drop. And I'll do it gladly, and I'll do it, this is only now I'm reflecting, I'll do it without even knowing when the last drop was. That's how uninterested, uninspired I am by alcohol. So no, I'm not teetotal, but the amount of these bad habits that I engage with now versus in my university years, such a stark difference. And I think that's what's been it for me. And like, I've made 300 plus, whatever it is, maybe 400 videos now on what I do, like on what has worked for me. And so I've talked about whole foods focused, and I've talked about plant-based diet, and I've talked about still being in my best shape and building muscle now, and you know, getting a bit fitter over the last couple of, like I lost the weight and I was so weight loss focused, and then I've put on a bit of muscle in the last year or two, and that's been a fun little experiment as well. And I've done it all with the plant-based, sorry to the carnivores, but yeah, built it on tofu and oats and avocado toast and the occasional almond croissant. And yeah, that's been fantastic. And you know, strength training 3 times a week, training with intensity, this emphasis on progressive overload, not just going in the gym and going through the motions. Sadly, like I observe, I'm going to sound condescending here, but it's true, it's what I observe in most gyms. People are there and that's good, they're being proactive, but oftentimes they're just going through the motions. And when you train with a little bit more intensity, you get far better results, is my experience, so that's been really cool. But really, it's not about, you know, the strength training. The fitness foundation, in my belief, is the step count. It is that daily movement. It's the walking. I'm a believer in the slow go methodology, you know, gentle movement. That's really, again, the foundation of most of my movement. Like if you've been following me for some time, you know my MO is what I'm trying to say, because there's 300, whatever, 400 videos on what I do. And I think this video today, as I reflect, it's the stuff I've avoided. It's the stuff I avoided in my 20s that to others would be very tempting. And I don't think I've used the word sacrifice yet in this video, but it's gonna come up. But the ironic thing is, I think by the end of this video, hopefully I've closed this, we've come full circle, closed this loop. But if I use the word sacrifice, I don't really mean sacrifice, because the things that I've missed out on I haven't missed out on. I don't care. Or I've certainly grown to, I either didn't care in the first place, so I wasn't tempted, or I've grown like cigarettes, or I've grown to not care, maybe more so with alcohol. I did the partying at uni, I wasn't crazy, but I did that. The big binge drinking culture in the UK, as you know, and I mostly avoided that. And I remember going out with the football team at university a couple of times, being part of the football team. The drinking was so off-putting that I stopped. So like, I've never been crazy, I've never been a wild partier or anything like that. But, you know, we've done the alcohol stuff. Nah, don't really like it, doesn't do anything for me, doesn't feel right, doesn't feel aligned, not to sound too woo and spiritual, it doesn't feel, I don't like this, don't like the person. I don't think I'm when I have alcohol, I don't think I become a bad person or anything like that. I think it makes me rather happy and lovable for once in my damn life. But actually, I don't like it. I don't like the feeling of guilt that comes with it, even if you haven't done anything wrong, and just the circadian rhythm knocks you off your routine, ruins the next day as well, bad decisions, etc., etc. So anyway, just that idea that sacrifice, was it? Was it? The food addiction has been hard work in moments, but because I've grown to love how I eat now, the simple plant-based meals I eat now, and feel really nourished with, and because I've seen the results that gets me physically, and also my mental health, the results that nourishing my body gives me, it's not a sacrifice anymore. There's challenging moments where I still have to remain disciplined, and I talk about this idea that over time, once you've built the habit, it becomes so second nature, and that's a beautiful feeling. Like you make good, healthy decisions on autopilot, that's a beautiful feeling. Because when you're a beginner, when you're just getting started, everything is forced because it's so unnatural, you haven't built the habit yet, maybe your taste buds aren't used to, you know, clean food versus ice cream. So you have to do a bit of work to get there, a bit of, like everything is force at the first, and then you get to this beautiful, it's a bit cliche, but promised land where it gets so much easier, your resistance just goes and you really gel and sync with healthy nutrition choices, and it really does feel natural, second nature. So you get to that, but like in the end, like nothing is really that sacrificial. And I still, so yeah, no, well, I've gone on, I digress. I said it wasn't gonna be a yapping video, here we are. I don't know how long this has been, probably 10 minutes. You know, when I watch Lord of the Rings for the umpteenth time on a Sunday evening, that's when you know you're in your 30s, you're staying in on a Sunday evening watching Lord of the Rings for the umpteenth time. But when I watch that, I eat a bowl of grapes, or I'm eating just my normal dinner, tofu stir fry, or I'm snacking on some raw veg sticks and hummus. Like, it sounds so boring, doesn't it? It sounds so predictable, so cliche, but that is honestly the stuff that's changed my life. It's not having the pizza and the ice cream watching Lord of the Rings, that's the point I meant to make, but it is what I've given up. It's what I haven't done. It's the parties that I haven't gone to, and subsequently, again, wasn't invited to, because I just stopped being that guy at some point, stopped being the social guy in that regard. And over time, like your close friend group becomes one of people that were also into your stuff. So obviously I relocated last year, as many of you know, but back in my old city, like most of my good friends, I knew them through tennis, so they already liked sport, tennis, movement, activity, that particular sport at least anyway. And subsequently, those are people that are going to be more likely to make health-conscious decisions with their nutrition as well. Not necessarily, it's not guaranteed. And then I had the martial arts buddies as well. So it's great, like George, who you all know, is very, very plant-based minded as well, so that's brilliant. So it's all of this. It's, you know, my whole world has become one of health-conscious decision-making. And I think that is just progressively, like it's so slow. Fat loss happens quickly, but the relationship with food change, the muscle building, the fitness development, that happens over time. You can lose 5 pounds in a week if you go really aggressively at it. That's not my advice. I've made a whole living off saying slow and steady wins the race. So that's obviously not my advice. If you've been following me for some time, you already know this. I don't need to warn you of that. But my point I'm trying to make is like you can change your body pretty quickly, or the amount of fat very quickly, but some of the stuff takes time to plug away at the habits, to defeat the old addictions, to overcome the limiting beliefs. That can take a little bit long, or a lot longer in some cases. That's been years, but it's really just plugging away. But because I actually, so cliche, liked the journey that everyone talks about, the journey, let's make it mechanical, because I actually like the process of it. And more with time, as I got used to it, I suppose. You just get conditioned to what you're eating. We are creatures of habit, so if you've got good habits, it's really hard to mess it up. When you've got bad habits, it's really hard to mess that up and install good habits. So once that script flips, It's lovely. It's really nice. It's hard to mess up. Even when I go off track now, because I'm not perfect, I'm not a Whole Foods Puritan. I told you about the alcohol, tell you about the junk. I feel I'm really transparent. I feel I'm really transparent in terms of showing, hey, this is when I mess up, and documenting it all. Here and on Instagram especially. But getting back on track. That's the deal I make with myself. And that becomes really easy as well. You just develop this recovery speed bounce back ability again because you've changed, because it's come second nature. Again, yap, I digress. The original point I was trying to make is it's just plugging away. So 32, but it's like, it's taken so many years to just chip away to get to the level of like consistency and knowledge, good instinct and intuition around what my body responds very well to. That takes time. That is a far more slow burn. Muscle building is really slow as well. That's a slow burn versus like losing fat in the short term. That's the metaphor, that's the analogy I wanted to give. And so it's just plugging away, but it really is what I didn't do in all of those years when I was doing that stuff. It really is not too many late nights, not too many parties, not too many vices or bad habits, not a perfect person, not too many bad habits. I want to feel fresh. Just that, I like feeling fresh in the morning. It's so boring. Like even as I'm hearing myself, I'm like, that's so boring and predictable. And again, I don't live this perfect like monk mode lifestyle. I don't, because it has to be realistic. It has to be real world, and I know that. But it is routine. I think one thing I'll finish on here is, last 12 months, one thing that I definitely felt has helped me get into better shape for what it's worth is not traveling as much. And I made a lot of content 18 months ago when I was traveling in Asia all that time saying, hey, look, this is, and I was right. I like that I did that. This is how you travel. You still stay in control of your weight. And you're not going to be perfect with your food choices. You can have a bit of fun, but this is how you manipulate it. This is how you structure it. This is how you do it. So you can damage limit. You can do damage limitation. And I love all of my content in that time. That was one of the most funnest times for documenting what I was doing here on YouTube. I loved it, and Instagram. And I liked it for myself, knowing that I could travel 6 months in Asia, do all of this stuff, and still maintain decent weight. I got a little bit fluffy by the end of the 6 months, but like 6 months of like weight controlling and like being on Thai beaches after months being there and being, in great shape, like that felt awesome. It was the fluffy pancakes in Japan that messed me up near the end, but no, that felt really, really good. But again, I digress, what a shocker. But this year, not traveling anywhere near as much, couple of trips back to the UK, Germany once. Did I go anywhere else? Not really. No, I think last calendar year I was only in 3 countries. I don't mean to laugh, like that would be a privilege to some people. For me, that was scaled down from the adventuring, the trailblazing that I usually like to do. And so like that routine, it's not that when you're at home, you're necessarily guaranteed to make better choices, but it does offer the opportunity for more control. And I traveled well, and when I do travel, I stay in shape well. I know I can do that. I know I've got that skill now, but I think I can easily be 3 or 4 pounds leaner at home, basically, like easily. And it's just easy, and it just kind of happens without too much thought. So I think that's been a big thing in the last year that's obviously, like, I've been at this such a long time. The gains, quote unquote, in a superficial vanity sense to my physique, like they're never going to be massive in the space of 12 months now after all these years anyway, like if I was a beginner where the changes are far more radical. But just the little tightening, I think, in my physique, a little bit more muscle building. So bit of fat loss, bit more muscle building, bit of strength going up in the gym as well. That feels good. That's happened in the last 12 months is because I've largely just been here and just in my routine. That's made it easier. So that's been a big thing as well, I think. But that's it. That's what's worked for me. And that's what actually matters. And yeah, is there a peak coming and then a sharp decline? I'm not going to be so arrogant and naive to ignore the fact that this will get harder for me at some stage. But not feeling it right now, and that feels freaking awesome to say. If you want the full Slim and Sane philosophy, the Ruleset, my non-negotiables to weight loss after living this way for 10, 11 years now, and in the last 5 or 6 years coaching over 600 men and women through this process, go down below. I've written my top 12 non-negotiables into a document for you. That's on the house. If you're wondering why, even on a healthy plant-based diet, you can't seem to lose weight, or you do have that initial drop and then it rebounds, I've also got my free diagnostic document down below. So there's always other resources in the description box, but those two in particular I'll put in there for your reference as well. And that's it. Point made. See you soon. Happy birthday to me.